Yes, sir.
Okay, so welcome back. And today we're going to be, I'm going to show you how I edit my books. Now, this chapter was already professionally edited. Um, but when I was going back over and like I spoke to you about the first episode, how I decided to go back over and I learned how to edit and self edit, pre edit all by myself. Uh, Actually, I can't say all by myself. Um, I decided to go back over my book Forbidden. So it has been a wild ride. So if you hear my dog in the background, she is sleeping. She sounds like a full grown man sometimes. And okay, so let's get into this. I'm going to try to do this in a timely manner. I don't know how that's going to really work out, but I will try. So right now the document is at 70%. I need to change this because I need to have it in the right genre. I this is I don't it's romance, but then there's a lot of other stuff going on. But I'm just gonna have it under romance. Okay, so now it raised the score to it's teeter tottering. So it's 77%. Okay, 72%. It wants to change. Okay, 72. It's decided. Okay, unknown words. So these I'm gonna add to the dictionary because that's the main character's name. And okay, Laura stumbled in her sandals, and obviously I spent. See now, so I have to look that up. Did I spell sandals wrong? I probably did. Let's see. Yes, I did. So that's why the computer is confused. Fixed. Okay, they want to make that a separate sentence. No problem. So we got through the grammar now. Oh no, did we? Yeah, no, yeah, we're good. So now we're moving on to style. This is fine. That's fine. Okay, so I started 3 sentences in a row with the same word. This is like a common mistake. Okay, so Dakota rolled onto his back as he groaned. He was. This is how I've. This is. There's two ways to solve this. Either I can do a suggest rephrase, or I can simply take this and change it to Dakota, and these two would disappear. See, simple. Okay, now I have 4 sentences. He could only think of one place he wanted to be. He nodded towards the guard station as he exited through the cave's only entrance. Okay, see, and this is, okay, so this is Dan. So I don't want to put Dan here because I started the last paragraph with Dan. That's just a personal rule for me. When you get used to hearing it on audio, there's certain things will start to get on your nerves, and that's one of them for me. I don't really like to repeat words too much. I try to minimize that unless it's important. So I'm going to change this one to Dan. Um, I don't want to start the next sentence with Dan. So now I'm going to say, oh, wait, they're cool now. Let's see. I don't know. It might bring it back up again. We'll see. For now, we're just going to move on. We're just going to let that be. And unless they bring it back up. Okay, so now they've gone into the writing style. 20 repeated sentences. So we're going to go to the first one. Okay, so use adverbs sparingly in your writing, especially creative writing. You can often use a strong verb or omit. So, a soul who simply wanted to escape her reality. Actually, I would take it out. I let them take it out. So it says a soul who wanted to escape her reality. She escaped him and ran away to live in the woods. You can actually, like, this sentence reads just perfectly fine without that. So I'm going to leave this. Here we go. I started 4 sentences, and he moved into what was left of the dilapidated cottage. So I know who they're talking about because I wrote the book. It's Dan. He moved into what was left of the dilapidated cottage. He had taken down most of He had taken down most of it upon her death, destroying what had been left. So I will put Dan here again. That's fine. And then that should get rid of these 2. It should. Okay. He sobbed. You know what? I would like to find... let's see if it works. Let's see if this one works. Yeah. Okay, so they're saying, these are my options. Regretting his past choices, he wept. That's not bad. Wiping away his tears, he felt great regret for the decisions he had made in his life thus far. And see, okay, so I use an AI reader. My voice over is, I use a British voiceover. So in this case, when you see words like thus, it actually sounds good. You always want to think about, if you're doing what I'm doing, you want to think about the language you're going to be using for the voiceover and which sounds better. So if I was using an American, I would probably go with, let me see, crying, he wished he had done things differently with his life up to this point. I would use something like this. It sounds good either way, but I just feel like this will sound better with a British accent. So I'm going to go with that. See, wiping away his tears, he felt great regret for the decision he had made in his life thus far. Okay, why is it still highlighted? So let's see why. Let's see what they say. After her death, he dismantled most of it, destroying almost all that remained. And that's not, upon her death, he had taken apart the majority of it when she passed away, getting rid of almost all that was left. It's a little wordy, which could be a problem later on. I'm going to go with this one. Okay. This is where you have like a little bit issues because it depends on how you want this statement to be delivered, right? I failed you. I can't go on anymore. So like when we go into the AI part, the voiceover part, this has to come out because what it's going to say is, I failed you. I think it'll say ... or I failed you ... I failed you. I can't go on anymore. So it reads the first dot as it may not, or sometimes in some cases it has actually paused and I hadn't had to do anything to this. And it could be how I edit it. If I had the dots closer together, I think that's what throws it off. But how they're like this, it may actually be fine. So I could leave that to see how it is, or I could turn these into dashes. and the dashes tends to give it the same effect of a pause. So grammar-wise, it's saying you have started 4 sentences in a row with the same word. This can lead to boring writing. We suggest that you restructure your sentence to make them more engaging. I accept the challenge. So let's see. I failed you. I can't go on anymore. Okay, we're just take this out so I can see. I'm also going to show you how to fix another problem, a future problem. I failed you. Okay, how about this? I failed you. And I'm going to show you why I'm going to do this. So this part where he says he sobbed, I recently learned that you want to minimize things like he laughed, or he like when he says, oh gosh, I'm trying to think. Well, this one, I failed you, he sobbed. That actually gets the sobbed part. It kind of gets flagged because when you have too many of those, I forgot what they're called. I know it's dialogue tags. When you have too many dialogue tags other than said or asked, it becomes a stumbling block for the reader. So I take these as an opportunity to make my writing more descriptive, to pull the reader in more. So I will take out he sobbed, he is fine. Well, now I'm going to make this a period because, it is a period, because I'm going to go deeper. So I failed you. Now let me think about what's going on before this. The voice seemed to echo, encircling him. So right now in the scene, the character is dealing with the voice of his deceased, I don't know, baby mama, his deceased girlfriend. So for those of you who are interested in buying this book, it's called Forbidden. It will be out next month. And this is the main male character's father. His name is Dan. And he is basically crying over Dakota's mom, who had died, but Dakota doesn't know. It's a long story. It's very dramatic. Anyway, so he's saying, I failed you. So how he's feeling. Oh, and let me show you something else that will help you with stuff like this. So there's another, let me see if I could go to the beginning of this. I just want to show you. These are tools that I use. The Writer's A to Z of Body Language by T.S. Ellis. This is very helpful. It's a very helpful tool. So I would see, let me see, scornful, seduction, self-comforting, more like self-loathing is what this man is feeling right now. Like he is just depressed. It tells you different, here we go, it's body languages for being more descriptive. So gloomy, bleak, drooping shoulders, slouched over, lopsided smile. So I could say, okay, so I'm going to use slouched over. I also want to look up. So here, this is what I do. Where is it? Return to the top. I'm going to go to D for depression, deceive, defensive, dejected. Dejected is probably not a bad one. Dejected is probably a good one. Oh, here's depressed. Sweating, racing pulse, feeling suffocated, trembling, palpitations, non-energetic, withdrawn, sloping body, stuck out lips, downcast appearance of his head. rubbing the back of his head, inner corners of his eyebrows, angled upwards. Becomes softer or lower, slouched shoulders and bad posture, crying, damp or teary eyes, walking with hands. Okay, all right, so we got something to work with here. So I'm going to go back and say his heart was downcast. Oops, I don't know why I did that. That might be a little gluey. This right here. Dan did not want to go on. I could say, Dan. Okay, I'm going to take a little break. Okay, so we're back. Okay, his slouching shoulders reflecting the pain in his heart. I had to take care of some stuff, and I decided to eat lunch, and now I'm back. So where did we leave off? We're trying to get rid of the repeated sentences. I think I'm going to leave this like that. Let me see. I'm going to do a refresh. Okay, so we have 12 sentences that need attention. Oops, I did this wrong. Okay. Oh, here again I go with the I forgive you. Okay, I forgive you. Hush, she said, place a finger over his mouth. I forgive you. Oh, there was something I wanted to fix. She scolded. Okay. I might fix this later, but I'm probably going to have to change this. We're going to see when we get to the dialogue. Let's see if they pulled up dialogue. Hold on. So right now we're at 88. Writing style, glue index, unusual dialogues. So, okay. So good. All right. What? Oh, it doesn't like the thus. Take it off. Whatever. Then why my score don't go down? Anyway. Okay. Let's go to this first one. Oh. Your transgressions are absolved. I'm ready to put this behind us. Well, she's kind of dead, so that's already behind her. I'm just going to go with this. They're just saying take the dots off, I guess, basically, which we can do that. Which I kind of explained earlier, like, when you, it actually does make a difference in the, for reading, it's fine. We understand what that means, but the computer will actually read out the dots. I forgive you. I forgive your wife, too. So instead of her saying, I forgive you, I forgive your wife too, let's just say, I forgive you and your wife. Too. I was wrong to love a man who was not mine. Ooh, if you only knew the story behind that. Technically, she wasn't in the wrong, but, you know. She's not here no more, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so all these Dan returned, but I'm going to leave it because I want to show you how I go through those. Okay, so we're out of those. I guess that's fine. So now we have our glue glue report, and my glue is 46%. It's kind of high, 46.2%. We're going to do our best to bring it down to 40, and we're going to start with the, I always like to start with the red. So here you get to see all that needs to be fixed. All that they're saying it's too sticky. Right now, my document has diabetes, so it needs to cut back on the stickiness. So let me see the first one. Okay, so it has some that are in blue. This is, they're saying, I think this, if I have it correct, this means that it's somewhat sticky. And then the ones that are in this, like this one, they're saying that it's sticky. So let's see, 66.7%, whereas this one is 55%. So, which means I could actually ignore these if I wanted to and just focus on the purple ones. But we'll see, because sometimes, a lot of times, what they're highlighting in the purple is dialogue. And I try to, in your dialogue, you try to make it seem as you write it as if how people speak. And sometimes we don't think about our sticky words or sticky sentences that come out of our mouth. So, okay, so this one says, yes, but be careful. The past few nights, there has been some strange things happening. So anytime I'm editing, I always try to remember where I am in the book, what's going on around them, who are the characters talking, blah, 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 right? So it says, reduce the number of glue words. 7 of 11 words are glue. When I was first learning how to do this, what I would do is actually take out each glue word and see what was left in the sentence and see how I could restructure it to be less sticky. That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is just hitting suggest rephrase. The problem is it doesn't always work. So, and you may not like what they're saying. It may not go with what's going on in the story. So you have to be always alert as to what is happening in the story and if what they're saying makes sense. Because you have to remember, this is an AI program. So it's based off of the knowledge of I think the top book editors around the world or something like that. They said it's an excellent program. Don't get me wrong, but just remember, with AI, it's going to go off of the rules that is set up for it. So, if the rules are set a certain way and there's certain exception to the rules and all those exceptions aren't put in, then there's time. There is a case, I have an argument. I actually stopped it because it was driving me nuts. But it kept saying that it would see like the commas. Yeah, I use the double quotations, not commas, quotations. Sometimes it would want a single. So it started out like the first part of the sentence is a double, and then on the end, it wanted to end with like a single. And I know that was like a glitch in the system. And so I would try to ignore it, but it was lowering my score and it was driving me nuts. So there is a way that you can report it, and also that you can just disable it so it doesn't come up anymore. So I ended up disabling it because I reported it, and how many times are you going to report it? And so I just disabled it. But that's the only thing that I can say that I found where the computer was wrong. I mean, maybe there are other ones, but I don't feel confident about that because, as I said, I'm still learning grammar. This AI program is actually teaching me grammar. So, along with college, but mainly this program. And because I work on this every day for hours, I'm basically studying grammar, whether I like to or not. I am studying grammar as I go along. So I'm learning quite a bit. So, okay, the past few nights there have been some strange things happening. Okay, so in this scene, Dakota is talking to his new bride. Dakota is, again, he's one of the main characters, and his bride is Amali. And they just got married. They're laying in their wedding bed after their wedding day, and he works as a night guard for his tribe. So he works the graveyard shift. So in their custom, before he gets married, his wife is to go and spend a day with him at work so that she can experience what he experiences and go through what he goes through on a shift, so that she understands how he feels when he comes home. So this is something that they do just for their guards, their warriors, so that the wives understand, and vice versa. It's pretty much it's an interesting community that I created in this book. So that is one of their customs, that the wife it's called the trial. The wife spends a shift with her husband, and they actually didn't get to do it because they ended up getting married that time that they were supposed to go on a shift. Anyway, I don't want to give away too much of the book, just in case you decide I want to read this book. Let me not ruin it for you. Okay. The past few nights there have been, see, I keep saying has, but it didn't say anything about that. It's just saying it's too sticky. Let's just see what it says on the rephrase. Recently, nights have been unusual. Unusual events have occurred lately. This is a good one. Events are strange. Yeah, that's not bad, but I would go with this one. This has absolutely no sticky words. So if you see what's in green is good, those are not sticky. These two would be considered sticky words. And even though the sentence would be okay because it reduces it greatly, this one, I think the only sticky word is have. Where everybody else has two. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So I'm going to say unusual events have occurred lately. I actually liked how that sounds. And I just have to put back my quotation, and that's it. She says, like what? Okay, so the next one. Okay, somehow I missed one. We're going to go to this one. I like to go in order. Okay, I did miss it. I am the head and you are the neck. Now, I may not want to fix this. This may be the hill that I don't want to say die on, but stand my ground on. Let's just see what they say. AI might be stumped also, so I don't know. I might leave this one alone. I am the head and you are the neck. I mean, I could change it from I am to I'm. I don't mind doing that. But I said it this way for a reason. I'm the head. You are the neck. I mean, that's a negotiation on my part. It's still going to complain about it. And this, I'm just going to take it out because I already know what's going to happen. I think a comma is enough. Now, they may have an issue with this comma, which is fine. Just when I go into AI, I'm going to add a pause in here. I'll have to remind myself to add a pause. He said before kissing. So it's okay. This is fine. You can say said as much as you want. You can say ask as much as you want. Or even that. I think in this AI, they want you to reduce even how many times you said. But if you're going to have anything that says he, whatever, it should be said or asked. It never should be I don't know what would be another one. He spoke, or he cooed, or he cried, or, they don't want that. So I'm just going to go down the row. Hold on. I'm just going to start from the beginning and go down to the row. He had given up on hope by his age, but today he realized that the Creator had been looking out for him all along. So they're saying there's a lot of sticky, and I could see a lot of sticky words. So let's see what the AI says. Anytime it takes this long, two things can happen. It's thinking, or it could generate a bunch of responses. Sometimes I've actually stayed here and just waited out of curiosity to see how long it's going to take, and it was just taking way too long. And like right now, I personally think by this point, if it hasn't figured out something now, it really may not. The chances are very slim, and that's fine. So he had given up on hope by his age. Okay, so let's see how we can shorten this part. I'm just going to go back. Let me see. Dakota could not believe his change in circumstance. He gave up on hope. But today he realized the Creator had been looking out for him all along. But today he realized the Creator had a plan. Let's do it this way. Had a plan. That's my daughter. Just run into the room like a wild animal. Amali was the perfect match for him. All right, we're moving on. Okay, we didn't get the test. We didn't get to test. What? We didn't get to that test. Oh, we didn't get to do that test, and I think it's important. Oh, okay. So here's her arguing her point. She's like, "Look, we didn't even get to do the trial, and I feel it's important. So go, Molly. You put your foot down. We didn't get to do the test." Making more sticky words. Okay. We didn't get to do the test. It's important. I'm going to take off the rest. I don't think it's that important to say longevity of their relationship. Oops, what did I do? Oops, okay, sorry. She strengthened her spine and squared her shoulders. Okay. Sometimes what I do is I'll actually do the action of the character to make sure it's giving off the right body language. Okay, Dakota just wanted to spend every moment with his new bride. He pulled her on top of him. Right now, I just want to enjoy us. So, showing and telling. Right here, I'm telling. Dakota just wanted to spend every moment with his bride. I'm telling the reader how the character feels, which you want to kind of stay away from. Right here, right now, I just want to spend time with us. He pulled her on top of him. Right now, I just want to spend time with us. Right here is I'm showing. So what I'm going to do is actually take this out. So let's read the whole thing. Dakota rolled onto his back as he groaned. He wasn't in the mood to discuss those events. This is okay. It's not too much. He pulled her on top of him. Right now, I just want to enjoy us. So now I have to deal with is this stickiness. I could just take out. I just want to enjoy us. Leave that alone. Amali jumped up, just as agitated, but willing to see who was at the door. So right now, his mother is knocking at the door, and this is their wedding night. And in their customs or tribe, their culture, the bride and the groom, the married couple, are not to be interfered with for a certain period of time. I forgot what I said. Maybe a week or a month or something. I don't know. But they're not supposed to be bothered. Like, who wants to be bothered on their honeymoon? That's basically what it comes down to. And his mother's being a Karen, to put it nicely. So, anyway, Amali jumped up, just as agitated, but willing to see who was at the door. So, let's see. What position was she in? Till under frustration. He rolled her on top of him. So she's on top of him. Okay. So she jumps up. Okay, I got it. So I'm going to change this to agitated, if I spelled this right. I probably spelled it wrong. I'm going to change this to wanting. And this comma is probably out of place now. So agitated, Amali jumps up, wanting to see who was at the door. Jumps up. I want to put a comma here. I'm going to put it in, and if it tells me take it out, take it out. No argument. No fight. That was the other warrior guards. That's what the other warrior guards are for. Come back to bed. Okay. I'm going to change this to there are other guards. And take out. I'm going to take this out too. I'm going to make this a comma. And there are other guards. Come back to bed. Amali looked down at her handsome, copper-toned man. Oh, wait. I was talking like I'm Amali. Amali looked down at a handsome, copper-toned man with fiery amber eyes and a well-chiseled physique. This is a word. Let me tell you about this word, physique. I've had times, and I didn't realize until I started playing the audio of my book that I had spelled this word wrong, and I was spelling it physic. So I'm here like, oh, his well-chiseled physique or psychic. You know, like the thing would read either psychic or physic, and I'm like, no. So, and it's something like you can misspell and it'll go overlooked because it's not misspelled, it's misused, I guess. I didn't use the right spelling for what I was trying to portray. So that is something where I'm really happy with the audio. It really does help a lot. There's those little things. But I'm going to show you there's something else they have in here that you can use also if you don't have something like Murph. Okay, so chiseled physique. This I can leave in because most times the AI will read it as a pause. Sometimes it won't, and it's no big deal. You just take it out and you put a pause in. How he had stayed single so long was still amazing to her. So it's kind of a long sentence as well. But we didn't get sentence. I don't think I had any issues with my sentence length. So the sentence lengths, you want to have them varied. Some long, some short. Like I said in the first video, you want your book to read like music. You want it to flow like music. So when you have your sentence at different lengths, it helps it to flow, and you really hear it when you put it through the AI system. You'll hear it. The reader's gonna sound more clear. It's gonna be more soothing and comforting when it speaks. So it's gonna overall sound more clear and more natural. So it's amazing what you learn just listening to it. Okay, so Amai looked down at her husband. Copper tone. Okay. Amai looked down at a handsome, copper toned man with fiery amber eyes and a well chiseled physique. I think right here what I need to do is put period. This. Okay, let me see. How he had stayed single so long. Another thing that I learned in writing, and I don't see it so much here, but they always say that they're like weak words. I guess I don't have enough weak words for it to be an issue, which is a good thing. Something I had along my journey of learning how to edit. I learned about weak words, and so was one. Very is another. So you want to use those words very, very minimum, and which I do. I kind of started to train myself. So I have so here, but you could probably count how many times I use so on one hand throughout the whole entire book. And I tried not to use that at all. Okay, so he had stayed single so long and was, okay, since, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm going to leave this alone and focus on what's broken. She knew no curse would stop her from pursuing a man. Okay, so she knew no curse would stop her from pursuing a man like this. Let's see what they suggest. They're thinking, I'm going to be thinking too. Because she knew no curse. Maybe I should change it. She knew this was a man for her. Let's go with that. The AI hasn't even come up with anything yet, so that's good. She knew. Well, if I could spell. Okay. Here. They made love again as the knocks on the door continued. That woman just won't go away. She's annoying. So I have 7 glue words. Okay, hold on. So what's going on? He enjoyed her in a long fashion. I'm going to take they became lost within each other. I think I just added more glue words. As the knocks on the door continued. Lost within each other as a lie. Okay, the kiss and passionate kiss. I'm going to try something and I'll see how it sounds. Lost within each other as the knocks on the door continue. I don't know. But he enjoyed her plump, tender neck before indulging in a long and passionate kiss, lost within each other as the knocks on the door continued. Okay, I'm gonna leave it. We'll come back to it. Okay, so much bitter rage seemed to surface all at once. Ooh, I used so again. Look at that. Hmm. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Okay. Okay. So this is, if you remember, this is after I had got it back from the editor and the first draft, and I was going to wait for the second one. And see, so this stuff that I learned. So I learned to take so out, and there's so here, there's so here. So I used 3 so's so far, and now I've recently learned not to use it. So this is I forgot where I was. Forgot where I was. This is my first time re-editing this one after it has been edited. So, and I don't blame the professional editor. You got to understand, like, they work with what they're given, and from what I understand, there's only so much they can do depending on who you have. She gave me a lot of great points, and she cited everything she corrected. Anything that was like an absolute, like, no, 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 you can't do this. She would show me exactly where in, I guess kind of like a language dictionary, something like that, why you can't use this phrase or that one or this comma or whatever. And she was really, really, really good editor. And I believe, had I done what I'm doing now and then given her that version, this book would be absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. So this is why I say, like, you want to go through this stage first. You can either go through this stage and then put it through an audio, and if like, once you hear it in the audio, you're gonna know in your spirit, you're gonna know, okay, this is ready. Not saying that there will never be any mistakes. Books are gonna have mistakes, even ones that are professionally edited. There's still gonna be some mistakes because our eyes autocorrect. It's just, you're supposed to edit a book, wait 2 weeks, pick it up again and edit it over, and you're supposed to do that a couple times. And but the cool thing with the AI is it kind of helps, because it's acting as a second pair of eyes for you. It's acting as a second pair of knowledgeable eyes for you. Very helpful. And then the Murph, or the using an audio system like that, it's reading it as it's written. Like, whatever you put there, it's what it's reading. You putting wherever you put your commas and your periods and so on and so forth, it's dictating to the AI how to read this sentence. So if you spelt it wrong, you put the commas in the wrong spot, or you put too many commas, or not enough commas, or no periods, or whatever, it's going to let you know. So using those two tools makes all the difference. Okay, I yip yapped enough. Now I got to fix this sentence. Let's see what they say. This is taking too long. All right. I definitely don't want this in here. So I'm just going to take that out. We don't need that. And it makes it sticky. Bitter. Bitter rage seemed to surface all at once. Let's talk about this at home. He turned and continued toward their ceiling. This is how you want it. Instead of saying, let's talk about this at home, he stomped off, or he said, or whatever. This is a really good way to put it. Let's talk about this at home. He turned and continued toward their dwelling. They walked in silence upon entering. Okay, I don't need to read that part. You never even cared to touch him until someone wanted to compliment you about being a mom. Okay, he's not your son. Let's see. You never even cared to touch him. You know what? Honestly, you never even cared to touch him. That's enough. That's enough. I have just. Okay, moving on. I know what I did, but it was because of what you did to me. Ah. Okay. I know what you did. I know what I did, but it was because of what you did to me. So basically, what she's saying is, I blame you for how I treated our son. So, to shorten that even more, she can say, I blame you for that. How about that? I blame you for that. Because what is he saying? He's saying, so, oh, I said so again. Oh, but this isn't somebody's talking. So did you, if you don't remember. So did you, if you don't remember. Wrong. It was beyond wrong. You broke a commandment, Laura shouted back. So did you, if you don't remember. Dan stepped closer to Laura, getting in her face. I'm going to leave that so in for a couple reasons. When it comes to the dialogue, that we want to stay to how we talk, and yeah, that's basically the main reason, because it's in the dialogue. So we're going to be working on these ones next. I'm just going to focus on the sticky words. Dan raised his hand to slap Laura across her cheek. Okay, he had never laid his hand on his wife in over 40 years of marriage, and an act like this was below him. Respect. Okay, I really like the message here. This man has never hit his wife before, despite what he's done, despite what she's done, despite what he's done. He has never laid his hands on his wife, and as angry as he is, as much as he, in his heart, he wants to, he's showing restraint, because he believes that action is below him. That speaks volumes. That's something that's important that I want to carry across to the reader about this character. So I have to be very, very careful in how I take out these sticky words. And if I cannot find a way to do it without preserving the message, then I may leave it alone. So, okay, so he had never laid. I'm going to see if they come. I think I have an idea of what I want to do. Okay, yeah, I ain't got nothing. That's cool. So I could take this out. I'm going to restructure this a little bit. 40 years of marriage. He hadn't abused his wife. I don't say abused because he cheated on her. Okay, so he hadn't physically harmed a hair on I don't know, I might be making it more sticky. Period. And act like this is below him. That might come back as a sticky sentence still, but we tried. He could only think of one place he wanted to be. For 40 years of marriage, he hadn't harmed a hair on Laura's head, and act like this is below him. He withdrew his hand and left the home. Good job, Dan. All right. He could only think of one place. Okay, so his heart led him to a place of solace. Okay. She came from an abusive home and was married too young to a man twice her age. Who is this? Who came from an abusive home, married to him? He was. Oh, hold up. Hold up. This would be. Now, this is something that has nothing to do with grammar. Might be a story change. His heart led him to a place of solace. Dan nodded towards the guard's station as he exited through the cave's only entrance. He walked in a northwestern direction towards what looked like an abandoned camp. He went to the doorway of a cottage entrance as memories of the past engulfed him. Tears trailed down his face as he thought about the woman he loved. He was lost when he found her, camping out in the woods, a soul who wanted to escape her reality. Okay, this story kind of changed. This character's background story changed, and so I have to follow through on that. And I had already explained to the reader exactly what her background story was, so I may be able to take all of this out. You see, she came from an abusive home, married too young to a man twice her age. She escaped and ran away to live in the woods. Dan found her through her voice. She had been singing while hanging her clothes to dry. Now, I like this part where he says Dan found her through a voice. She had been singing. So let's just get out of my way. This annoys me, how this thing gets in the way like that. Okay. He was lost when he found her, camping out in the woods. A soul who wanted to escape her reality. Yeah, I agree that matches with her new story, her new background story, so this is fine. Dan had found her through her voice. She had been singing while hanging her clothes to dry. That's fine. Dan moved into what was left of the dilapidated cottage. Let's see if they have something. Dan moved into what was left. Okay. This section, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something that you can also do. That's kind of fun. This is just more kind of, oh, snap. Almost got 100 for a second. Okay, reality set in. My happiness is gone. Okay, this is something I like to do. Sensory. Love sensory. Okay, they do. Okay. Dan moved into the remains of the crumbling cottage, the walls barely standing. Dan moved into what was left of the dilapidated cottage, the air filled with the smell of dust and mold. I like that. Dan moved into the remains of the dilapidated cottage, the floorboards creaking beneath his feet. Now, I can't remember. Let me see. Dan moved into what was left of the dilapidated cottage, the windows broken and boarded up. Dan stepped into what was left of the dilapidated cottage, the walls coated in thick. Okay, no. I like this one. After her death, he methodically tore apart the structure, leaving only rubble in his wake. Yeah. Dan sat in the same spot, the scent of his son's newborn skin still fresh in his memory. Wow. So sensory helps. It focuses on the feeling, and I really like it. It's fun, and you learn from it. So I think I like that. Wiping away his tears. He felt regret. He felt great regret for the decisions he made in his life. He wiped away his tears and felt a pang of sorrow for the choices he had made. Well, I felt that one. All right, let's do some. All right, let's go back to. Hold on, we got some grammar issues. Let's see. This freaking honey thing is getting on my nerves. Honey be making me mad sometimes. Go away. Okay, oops. No, that's what you don't want to do. Okay. Let's see, what's this one? Agitated. I see I spelled that wrong. So I'm here, I'm pulling it up, and then this is to say, yes, go ahead and fix that. And this one's to 2A. His heart let him, oh yeah. Okay, refresh. So now we're good with that. So let's go back. And, okay, how do we still have more grammar things? Okay, this is going. That part I don't understand. So I wasn't lying. I have witnesses. You guys saw that, right? It says grammar and spelling. The suggestion. So show the report. No spelling or grammar issues found. No spelling, grammar. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. It could be, I don't know. That's weird. Oh, advanced fixes? No. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why it's doing that. It says that there's nothing wrong on that one side, and then on this side it's saying that there's something wrong. Oh, hold on. See, it has nothing to go to. Okay, I'm moving on. I think it could be with my internet being glitchy. Okay, well, we're down to 45%. We didn't get to do the test. Okay, so I'm actually gonna stop here because this does take a long time. I have to go through all of this, and then I have to go through and show you all of this to see what I could bring it down to. So I'm actually going to pause the video. I'm going to go through this part, and then I'm going to come back, and I'm going to have to do a third video on, well, I mean, this is going to be a whole series of videos as I go through this. So I'm going to stop this one here, and when I do the next video, I'm going to show what percentage I ended up with at the end of my sticky word. So we left off with, and we'll figure out what's going on here too. At 45%, we're trying to get it to 40%. And I am going to pause this video here, and I'll see you in the next video. Yes, sir.